Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing some first impressions. Rasse Fort from Fort Manle have reached out to me and asked if I'd like to smell some samples of the new 3 additions to his line. Recently Rasse Fort changed the bottle design from the slim black with the metal plates. I know a lot of people do like the old bottles with the metal plates, but the new ones do look very nice. And these, in that change from the new bottles, he also added 3 new perfumes to the collection. I have not smelled these yet. I've had them a little while. I've just not got around to making videos recently. But we're going to give them a sniff as a first impression. And the first one is called All the Queen's Men. And on the inside there's a little bit of writing. It says, "Spring orchestra tunes its strings, buzzing waves hum, bump and go the avant-garde dance of colour, restores the painter's palette with hope and inspiration, fulfilling Her Majesty's wish for never-ending bounty." I have absolutely no idea what any of the notes are for these fragrances. I've not read any reviews, I've not looked at anything online, I don't know what the notes are. So I'm going to be smelling these blind, first of all, as a first impression, and then we'll do kind of full reviews later probably. And so, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm going to spray this on my left hand first. Oh, interesting. Okay. The first words in my head were kind of sweet, slightly fruity even. Almost ever so slightly honeyed sweet, like a fruited, how do I explain it? Bear in mind I've got no idea what the notes are. But it's warm, it's sweet, it slightly has a fruity tone. Almost like maybe even apricot. In terms of colour, I'm imagining kind of oranges. At the moment I'm getting, like I say, it's slightly honeyed, if honey's the right word, I'm not quite sure. But a honeyed, fruity, warm, sweet mixture that's definitely unisex. I would put this from a first impression as a spring autumn kind of fragrance. We'll see how that develops. Interesting. It's maybe elements of something like was it 40 Thieves, where it had those kind of dried, sticky kind of fruit kind of accord from memory. It's been a while since I smelled that one. So we'll go on to the next one. I can't pronounce it. Honiara, I'm not sure. That is the spelling. I'll put it up on the screen. And the writing says, "This pristine fragrance sits like a treasure of colour, surrounded by the richest blues. Her white sand beaches welcome to the world to pause, take breath, and sense paradise on earth." Oh, okay. Wow. That's not what I expected at all. Mind you, from the thing about white sand beaches, I guess. It's not what I expected from Fort Manle. This is like a summertime, beachy kind of light aquatic blues, like white sand beach. Borderline tropical, watery. Again, slightly fruity. Almost like a mojito or something. It's kind of fresh, clean, citrusy, watery, salty. Almost like a cocktail drink. Maybe there's, I'm not sure if there's an alcohol accord, like a rum accord or something, possibly, I'm not sure. But I'm getting, in my head, it's like a slight cocktail kind of vibe. My sister used to drink mojitos, and that's the kind of fizzy, sparkly kind of vibe I'm getting. The citrus part of it's nice. It's totally not what I expected from Fort Manle, to be honest. I didn't see that one coming, but it's cool. I quite like that. It's nice, it's fresh, it's watery, slightly fruity, slightly sweet. Definitely summertime, spring, summertime, hot weather. I'd say again, completely unisex. Maybe something slightly green just in the background that's just a little bit different. Almost like maybe slices of cucumber or something, I'm not quite sure. Interesting. Okay, that's not what I expected. That's very different. But that's cool that they've got a summertime, watery kind of juicy, citrusy kind of fragrance. It's it wasn't. They didn't have that kind of aspect to the brand before, so that's an interesting addition. So the next one, and the last one, is called Late Harvest. And on the back of this it says, autumn holds on sometimes. The years gives us clues as we go. Hard work in the fields, prepping for winter, can break a man. Life by moon and rain, and the evening pipe, bring it all back to mind. So this one I'm going to put on my inner wrist. I'm presuming, I no idea what the notes are for any of these. I'm presuming by the word pipe, evening pipe, on the thing that it probably has tobacco accord in there somewhere. As a presumption. Could be wrong. Okay, well let that air a second. Oh yeah, definitely tobacco. This is dry. I don't know if there's a hay accord in there or if my opinion's been skewed by the text, but I can imagine at least where the fields have just been churned for the hay, where they've been turned over and baled. You're getting that kind of dry hay bales. Maybe an old man, the farmer, he's just finished putting the bales together, got off his tractor and he's lit up his pipe and puffing on his pipe. That's kind of like this. It's like countryside. From a first impression, that's the mental imagery that I'm getting from it. It smells warm, although I can smell tobacco and kind of hay and kind of these kind of notes, and maybe a little bit more masculine, but it's, in general, I would say all of these are unisex. But there are plenty of women that love the smell of tobacco, so I don't think that really is an issue. I think either sex could wear it fine. I'm not being able to pick up like too many distinct notes in this. I'm getting a mixture of, like I say, warm kind of tobacco, kind of hay vibes. I don't know if hay is in there or not, but that's the impression. There is something in the background again that's subtle that I'm not quite sure what it is, but like subtle, where it's kind of in the background and hard to detect. There's also, if I smell a little bit deeper into it, I sense, I might be wrong, but I sense something along the lines of coumarin, but that possibly, if there's vanillin in there and it's mixing with the hay, maybe giving a coumarin kind of vibe, but I'm getting a hint of something along those lines. Like a coumarin kind of base, slightly sweeter, vanillic, but mixing with that kind of warm hay kind of feeling. Interesting. They're kind of different, to be honest. They're different from what I'm used to with Fort Manle. They go in a slightly different direction. All three of them, I would say. Going back to the All the Queen's Men, it's almost like dried fruits accord. If anything, I would say they come across maybe a little minimalistic. For some of the Fort Manle, these ones are more subtle, minimalist, tastefully balanced. Maybe some of the really hardcore niche collectors might want more from it, maybe, in terms of textural layering, maybe. That's personal taste though. The next one is Honiara, or Honiara. Oh, actually it's changed a little bit. I'm getting kind of I'm presuming a kind of a musky accord, but it's not a soapy musk, it's not like a clean fresh linen musk. It almost smells like your natural skin odor. It's like a skin kind of musk feel. Still with a slightly salty, watery kind of texture to it. Getting a little bit sweeter than it was before. And going back to late harvest, this one's subtle and hard to pick out other notes except for the ones that I mentioned. It'll be interesting to see how these develop in the dry down. From a first impression, quite different to the different kind of direction to what I was maybe expecting from previous releases, but I think they cover kind of maybe holes in the brand that they didn't have before. For example, they didn't really have an aquatic or a watery kind of summertime fragrance, should I say, and that one of those fills that brief of having something for the summer. So I think they've maybe aimed for gaps in their branding and making sure there's a fragrance for that kind of situational feeling. So that's cool. Yeah, we'll see how they dry down and I'll do some full reviews. This is just a first impression. Hope you enjoyed it. The weather's changing, there's some big black clouds coming, the wind's picking up, the sun's gone behind the cloud. I'm gonna get walking before it rains. Take care everyone, see you soon, hope you're all well.